All right, guys, how's it going? Let me put my little clicker down real quick. As some of y'all know, my name is Ben. I also go by Kill Mill and Amtgard. Do this real quick so you can actually see my face fully. Anyways, what I'm gonna go over today is we're just gonna go over the basics, some of the basic things of how to play Amtgard, how to do the fighting and whatnot. So we're some of the things we're going to go over, especially on the fighting portion, is we're going to go over just the basic how-tos, stance, where your weapon should be, basic shot locations, how do you kill somebody, how do you die, and then some basic startup swings. So, first question a lot of people will ask is, "Oh, how do I play?" Well, it's not that hard, you know. You just need to get yourself a weapon, get yourself a rule book. Make sure to read the rule book. You don't have to read it right then and there because if people are willing to help you, they'll help you out. You also have to sign a waiver. Other than that, so the first thing about Amtgard is there's a lot of combat in there. There's a lot of fighting. So the first thing that people want to do is they want to learn how to fight. So the first thing you want to do is you want to be able to get a good stance. And a good stance, if anything, I'm going to point you now so you can see my feet real quick. So anything, what a lot of people will tell you is a good basic stance is where it's a little more open than anything. You don't want to be like this. You don't want to be way out overstretched. You don't want to be lunging into your every shot. You just want a basic one where you feel like you walk up and then whichever foot you want to put forward, you put forward. I will put my right foot forward. So I'll put my foot forward. Now, if the camera was my opponent, I would point my toe in line with the camera. My back foot, you notice when I went and set up, this back foot goes back. And it'll adjust every now and then while you're fighting. You don't want to be up close on yourself. You don't want to be fighting like this. You don't want to have your foot one right behind the other. I know fencers kind of do this. I'm not a fencer, so forgive me for not knowing this. So they'll do this kind of stance, and that's typically for stabbing. Since there's more than just stabbing in, there's also slashing and chopping. We're going to want to take a little bit of a wider stance. Kind of put our heels right here, about where our shoulders are. You put a little bend in your knees. You don't need to lock them in place, but you also don't need to be way down on the ground. You know, just a little bend in your knees. Give yourself a little bit of balance, a little bit of bounce. Now, this is a good stance because it's an easy, okay, we want to spar, okay, pop. I'm already there. If I want to use my other hand, okay, we pop. And that's it. And it's easy to bounce between the two. There's some people that will fight goofy foot where they'll fight with their back foot forward and their primary foot back. Kind of a goofy stance, but for them it works. For a lot of others, they'll put their primary foot forward. Whatever your primary hand is, I'm right-handed. It's my right hand, my left. Since I'm right-handed, I'll put my right foot forward, I put my left foot back, put a little bend in my knees. Now, I'm gonna add into the stance real quick. I know I'm going into some advanced topic real quick. It's going into body mechanics and balancing. For males, our center of gravity is actually right here in the chest, where if somebody was to push your chest, how you would actually feel off balance. Women is actually down lower. It's actually right here at the hip line. It's right here at the hips. So they can sink. They can sink a little more. They can lean and twist and curve as long as their balance is right where they want. They can. If you notice when I'm doing it, my chest is staying right where it's good for my balance. So you take your foot stance. Now the position of the weapon, one of the things I always tell people is you bring your weapon up. I'm going to point out this way. When you bring your weapon up, you don't want to bring it up all the way. You don't want to bring it way high. You also don't want it just down here, because that's just calling for hurting yourself, hurting your shoulder, hurting your arm, because now you have a shot coming in, you have to bring your arm up to block. Or if your arm's all the way up here, and the shot's coming in from down here, try to use the color of my glove to help with the shading. The shot's coming in from down here, now you're going to bring your arm all the way down to block. So general rule of thumb is where your shoulder is, you want your hand to match, or you want your blade in line with your body. To where when you're squaring up, it's right here. That's just the basic positioning of your sword. You can vary it up. You can put a little height on it, and you can curve it. As long as it's not out like this to where you're going, hi, how are you? Don't windshield wiper like this, because then other people are going to walk up to you and wave their little sticky back, and you're not going to have a fun time. Now, having the sword straight up is good if you're blocking with this kind of maneuver. But since the shots will be coming in at different angles, like so, this is not going to help you. So instead, you want to turn it. You don't want to turn it too much. You just want to put probably at most probably about 45 degrees. Where your hand is on the weapon, that's up to you. People will tell you more about that, and I'll probably go into that a little more in another video. You can have it all the way back here on what's called the pommel. You can have your hand all the way back here gripping it, or you can have it all the way up touching the blade. You'll see a lot of higher tier advanced fighters. They'll bounce between the two, or in some instances they'll meet right in the middle. Give them a little bit of control down here and a little bit of grip. So you have your stance. Now, some people will do a full turn and will square up like this. Then there's some people that will bend straight down and put their sword like this. What you want to do is you never want to dip your shoulder. Shoulder up a little bit. Square your shoulders up. In line with your chest. I've had people say lean forward, put all your weight on your front foot. Square up like that. That way this back foot right here, if you need to, you can shift back to it. So if you need to, you can step back and step back in. If you need to back pedal, now you have that chance to shift to your back foot and pull, and you're able to back pedal. The one thing nobody will ever tell you until it happens to you enough times is you never want to, in the middle of squaring up, is you never want to turn and expose your back, because you have no way of knowing where the shot's coming from, so you don't know where to block. Always want to keep your eyes on your opponent. And that's another thing. Never watch your opponent's sword. Watch them. This can become a blur at points. So you can, if you want, watch the sword, but I can guarantee you, watching the sword is not going to get you anywhere. Okay. Basic shot locations. We're just going to go over basic shot locations real quick, and then we're going to quickly move combo that into how to achieve a victory, or how to lose, or in a more mature sense, how to kill someone or how to die. Since this is a role-playing game, it's fantasy, and we don't really use actual weapons, there's no actual dying because of this. So basic shot locations is you have your arm, your hand is a part of your arm, as long as it's not wielding a weapon or a shield. If you actually have a shield in your hand, my shield's a little big, so I'm not gonna wield it right now. So this up to your shoulder, this is an arm. When this gets taken, the rule is to take your hand and put it behind your back. That's to denote that this arm is gone and you are wounded. Another shot location or wound location is your legs. Your feet, as long as they are on the ground, do not take damage. As soon as you lift that foot, it now takes damage. So your leg, anywhere from, say, the ankle, if your foot's on the ground, up to your hip, which mine is, I have to remember where mine is at half the time. Right there. From there down, that is a leg shot. When it happens, you have two options. First option is you take the leg, and what you have to do is you have to go down on your knees. Don't get sexual with it. You go down on your knees and you put both your knees on the ground. You can still fight like this, but now any shot to this leg does not count because it's considered a dead leg. If anybody wants to take you down at the legs, they have to come and get the other leg back here. Use the whiteness of my skin to show it. See right here. Yeah, hit this leg. The second option, if you medically or physically cannot get down and back up on your own, another thing to do is if you get hit, you say posting. And what posting will do, and I'm actually showing it, is what posting will do is you get hit in the leg, posting. Now that leg cannot move. You can maneuver around it, but you cannot move that foot from the ground. If you get struck in that leg again, though, it's a death. Other shot location is torso, and that's anywhere between the shoulder blades, the collarbone. So the collarbone right here, down your chest, your abdomen, and then in between where your hips meet down into your pelvis region, and actually into your backside. Your backside is also considered part of the torso, to the back of your neck, which is generally where that little lump is under your spine. Which is like right about there for me. It's like right there. That's where my neck starts. Generally, when you put on a vest, whatever the vest covers is torso. You also got to think there's that nice little portion right here, this little fleshy bit right here, that doesn't get counted. That's also torso. Any shot to the torso that's an insta kill, insta death. Shot here, shot on the shoulder, a shot on the side, shot on the back, shot on the behind. That is a death or a kill. How to kill, how to die, how to win, how to lose. It takes 2 limbs or a torso shot to beat your opponent. So if you hit them in both arms, they're dead. If you hit them in both legs, they're dead. If you hit them in one arm and one leg, it's a death. Here's a little fun part. If you get hit in the arm twice, 1 arm, 2 arm, it's a death. Because the way you have to imagine it is your arm's here, you block that first shot, now your arm's gone, and that second shot came through and hit you in the torso and cleaves through. Notice how I said in the shot locations, I didn't say anything about the head or the neck. That is because that is an unsafe location. You don't want to be hitting people in the head. We are trying to be a little more conscious and not give people concussions, brain damage, stuff like that. The bad stuff, I will say though, it does happen. Don't be mad when you do it. The first thing you need to do is apologize. So if a headshot ever happens, bam, oh, headshot. Hold on, are you okay? Yes, first thing you do is, I'm so sorry, are you okay? You apologize for what you did. Second thing you do is you check on them. Are you okay? Yes or no? Next thing you do is you ask them if they want to continue, or if they're not good, if they need help getting off the field. If they're still good and they want to continue fighting, you reset up, go back into your stance, and then wait for him to say, okay, let's go. There have been people that they'll call head, and it'll trigger people to go, oh my God, are you okay? But as soon as it goes head, oh my God, blah, 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 and they'll take that advantage. Sometimes those hot headshots are hard enough that it knocks you loopy. Your face isn't the only thing that's not safe. You can actually get hit in the eye. You can get hit right across the nose. You can get hit in the mouth. You can get whizzes, smacked on the ear. You can get smacked on the throat and on the neck, all around. All you have to do is call head or neck. Nothing else. And the best thing about shot locations is know where your shot locations are. So you got to know where there's lines. There's little fine lines that denote where your shoulder attaches to your torso and where your hips attach to your torso also. So you have to know where those lines are. If you don't know where your lines are, the best thing to do is look for the protrusions right here on your hips. Look for where your protrusions or intrusions are, either where it sticks out or sticks in, and feel for your hip bone. Wherever your hip bone is, jab it. Find your hip bone. That's the line for your legs and your torso. Now, for I got a little adhesive on my gloves, excuse me. Where your arm meets your shoulder, it's typically right where that roll is, because nobody's a straight block on the shoulders. They always have this nice curve. This nice little curve to their shoulders. It's not just blocked out. It's a little bit of curve. So find where that curve is and where that curve meets. For me, is, see, mine's right here and right about here. So right about there. That's where my torso. That's where my arms meet my shoulder. If you get hit on that line, it's safe to say it's safe to go ahead and take a death. If you're unsure of the shot, just go ahead and take a death. Don't argue with it. Don't fight it. Don't say, "Well, I think that's an arm. Yeah, I'll go ahead and take an arm." If you have to think about it for a minute, if you have to think about it for more than 5 seconds, just go ahead and take a death. That's probably the best thing to say. Is a 5 second rule. You get hit on that line. You get hit on that line. If it takes you 5 seconds to try and figure out where on that line it hit, if it was more up here, if it was more down here, just go ahead and, you know what? I'm dead. That's it. All right. Basic swings. Like I said, since the head is off limits, this shot right here, the basic karate hacha, up down. If you're line in line with your opponent, that basic up and down motion would probably not work. So instead, you want to offset the shot and you want to come in from an angle. And these are basic swings. You can add a little flourish onto them. You can spin them. You can throw and then twist your arm to bring it down. Come at an angle. Come at an angle. You can come in from the side, or you can come in from underneath. Mind you, how I've said this, how the torso does go down into the pelvic region. For men, it's not fun. Trust me, I've done it. I've had this done to me, and I've done it. You have that one shot that just so happens to come down and come up and get you right in the manhood. It hurts. It stings. Takes the wind out of you for a minute, but it's a legal, valid shot. It's highly frowned upon. It happens. Women, y'all aren't safe. If it hits the female bits, and trust me, it'll happen. If the swing comes down and comes up and it gets you right in between the legs, it'll probably leave you a little sore. Might hurt a little bit. It's a valid shot. Same thing for the torso region. Women, I know some women, they'll come up and this is the first thing they'll do is they'll automatically put their arm right across their chest, and that's because they're protecting I don't know how to really say it, but they're protecting very sensitive tissue. And I've had other women that have just come up, all right, let's do this, and get caught right across. It's a tender area. It's a sensitive area. It's still a valid shot, though. 9 times out of 10, that's probably where a man's going to swing, just to see what your reaction is. It's just to get that one swing, get that reaction, just to go, okay, I like that reaction. No, I don't like that reaction. But they will always rebut and say, smack. Oh, are you okay? Are you okay? Okay. It's still wound, death location, but I understand it's a sensitive area. Us men, even though our targets are a little smaller on the torso region, it's still a sensitive area, especially if you get hit right there. So you'll see some men that will line up and they'll have that arm right over to block. And they will do this because they know where there's know your body, know where your sensitive spots are. Because then if you don't think that spot's sensitive and the first time you get hit there you realize that's very tender, now you found a very sensitive spot. So the basic swings, like I showed you, is just, and you notice I'm not heaving into it. It's just down. It's just down on the shoulder, down on the other shoulder, on the side, up from above, up from below, up from below. You never want to put all your force into your shot, because you put too much force in your shot, and the first thing that's going to happen is you're either going to damage your weapon. First thing that's probably going to happen, besides breaking your weapon, is you're probably going to break your opponent. That's something that we really don't need. We don't need people looking like they're stepping up to the plate for and trying to play in the World Series, and they come swinging down. Yes, there is a class that's called Barbarian, but you don't need to put that much emphasis into your Barbarian class. We also know that you're probably going to get upset. You're going to get mad. Best thing to do is tone the anger back a little bit and keep it out of your swing. You don't want to crank up for a shot and put so much emphasis on it that as soon as it hits somebody, it leaves a mark. That's also what makes a valid hit. Might as well cover that real quick because I didn't put it down, but we're going to cover what makes a valid hit. A valid hit is anything that makes a pop noise. This right here is not a valid hit. This is not a valid hit. This is actually up to the recipient of the hit. For a stab, it has to be one that stops. It can't just glance, and it can't slide right through. You'll hear some people when this happens, they call it butter. Or they'll get a little darker with it, but we're just going to say that was butter, pull shot, butter. There's butter in the bread. Then you need a shot that hits, makes an audible noise, which will typically sound like a pop or a boom. Pop. And will make you return from where you hit. Now, if you did notice, I am wearing gloves in this, and you do not have to wear gloves, but as a safety thing, you can wear gloves. You can wear baseball gloves like I do. I mainly wear them for the grip. I don't wear them for protection. If I was to wear for protection, I would actually go and get lacrosse or hockey gloves, stuff like that. We'll go into safety equipment later. We'll go into those and do another video, but that's the valid shot. You want it to make the audible pop or stop where you stab. You don't want it to come in, stab, but keep going and push past. If you want to stab, you don't want it to hit and slide past. You want it to hit and stay. The only time it'll move is if you keep it there and they turn. Now it moves. So you want that audible pop when you swing, and you want it to impact. You want it to actually hit something and stop. And you stab. All right, I think that's all I got for this video. Again, I'm going to be only covering the basics. I'm going to be doing quick 101 intro videos for everybody. So if you like what I'm doing, go ahead and put a like video. I do understand